Why do you support Donald Trump?
I like his policies with the finances, and I think the stock market's doing really well right now. Um, so that's my main thing personally. I don't like him as a person. I don't agree with what he does as a person, but I
Is
think
it
his
is it
policy.
like bedtime or something? I'm confused, bro.
What do you mean?
Is it like bedtime? Are you hiding under the covers?
I'm laying in bed right now, but I'm working on a debate, and I was gonna see if I could debate with you on the Second Amendment because I have a
Okay.
class tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. I'm just asking. So like, okay, go ahead. Like, what about the Second Amendment?
Okay, so I don't know what side I'm gonna debate, but I know what side you want to debate. So I'll go with so the resolution is that protecting the Second Amendment is more important to liberty than enacting new gun control laws. So my first contention is Second Amendment defends liberty by limiting tyranny.
I have a question. Are you pro-life?
I am.
So would you be in support of restricting bodily autonomy to save human life?
I would, yes.
Okay, so why not with the context of gun control?
So with the context, mm, so what's your? I I I gotta think about my answer to that, but I just want to get a definition. Um, for your definition, what would gun control laws entail?
Yeah, like universal background checks, like limiting high capacity magazines, red flag laws, things like that.
Okay, so with the universal background checks, right? Um, there's a case that's not fully into the court yet, but I saw it, and it is um. So with background checks with felons, obviously shouldn't like violent felonies should not be able to have own weapons, right?
Um,
Do you
violent
agree with that?
violent felons shouldn't be able to own weapons.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, but
Okay. Oh, so then Trump shouldn't be able to own a weapon, right? Because he's violent. He was held civilly liable, and he's also a felon.
okay, that's where I'm getting to. So, even though somebody's convicted a felon, there's a case that's going into the court right now. It's working on being processed, where this woman was um, guilty of check fraud, and she's a felon, and she cannot own a weapon. Do you
That's
think
different
that's
from a
right?
violent felony.
Okay, but all felons though. If you're a felon, you cannot
I wouldn't
legally
say it
own.
about all felons, but violent felons, yeah. If someone's
But
committed a
right
violent
now,
offense, like if someone's committed a violent offense, right? I don't think they should be allowed to get access to a gun. Do you think violent offenders should be able to get access to guns?
violent, no.
Okay. So, do you think if violent offenders shouldn't be able to get access to guns, well, then why should they be allowed to become president and get access to the nuclear codes?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll give you that one. That's a good point. I agree with you on that. Um, but with the cases of Hellers, that was 208, 2008, right? Heller versus um, was it Heller versus United States?
Not quite sure.
Um, oh, District of Columbia versus Heller, 2008, ruling that the Second Amendment protects an individual right to keep and bear arms, not just a collective one tied to militia service. Um, do you think that because everybody says the Second Amendment is outdated because back then there wasn't bump stocks, there wasn't multi-round clips, but
Yes, it's
do
definitely outdated, but one aspect of it is that you can take into account, at least from an interpretation perspective, it says that well regulated, right? And if it says well regulated, well, then certain types of gun control regulations, right, are justified. And also, like, to a certain extent, like, if we just consider like any gun control regulation a violation of the Second Amendment, I don't think anyone actually cares about the Second Amendment, and of course, it's not modernized, right? But like we can interpret the Second Amendment to essentially mean that like gun control legislation is totally in line with the Second Amendment, and that's totally a fine interpretation as well.
okay, yeah. In 2022, New York State rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin.
I
This
guess, like,
court struck
how does
that.
this relate to your support for Trump?
You just said you were looking for debates, and I have a debate in class tomorrow, so I wanted to debate you on the Second Amendment. So
Bro, do you support Trump?
I do, yeah,
So why do you support Trump?
because I agree with his policies in the financial institution.
Okay, so which policies, economically speaking?
I won't lie, I can't name a specific one off the top of my head, but when Trump has been in office, the financial institution has done better. The stock market has been booming.
The stock market was booming under Biden. It was all-time highs under Biden as well. I'm confused why that would only be unique to Trump.
It's it's
If
also
anything, it's in a
all
worse
time,
off situation because of Trump, because the tariffs brought a lot of uncertainty.
but the tariffs also improve the economic state. No,
No, they make it worse off.
I think the tariffs made our relationships with other countries worse, but I don't think it degraded the economic state.
It has. It reduces the size of the GDP. It's made the labor market worse off as a whole, right? We can see that specifically because the labor market was so bad that Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, claiming that it was politically biased information.
Okay. Um, with
Right?
with the past few guys, you said the Epstein files. Why he's not releasing them? Um, I'll be honest. I don't know whether or not he's on there. He could be. He might not be. But FBI director, what's his name right now? I he's the one running the whole investigation on those.
Kash Patel?
So yeah, Kash Patel. He's the one running the whole investigation on those. So why is Trump the one being blamed for not releasing him when it's Kash Patel who's in charge of all that?
Well, Trump said he has the ability to release and declassify documents just by thinking about it. In his first term, this whole idea that he was bringing up that, like, he wasn't accountable for, like, the files that he had that he was showing to people was that he could declassify it just by thinking about it. So under his perspective, why can't he just declassify it by thinking about it? And why can't he just instruct his administration to do it?
I'll be honest, I think that's just his ego when he said that. I think that's more, I don't think it's as simple as that, though. I don't think that he could actually do that. I think that's his ego, him saying that he could do that. I don't think
So
he
why
can
would he
actually
do that, knowing that he couldn't actually? Was he
Like I
actually
said,
accountable for the files, for the
what do you
classified
mean by
documents?
accountable for? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, do you
Yeah, like, did he not declassify them? They were totally classified.
are they still not are they still not under court restrictions? The files.
I'm talking about. I was talking about different. What I think we're getting a little bit confused. No, they're not under court restrictions anymore. The files, the Epstein files.
So when Kash Patel had the his hearing in
Wouldn't it
front
be
of
Pam
the
Bondi,
Senate, wouldn't what be Pam Bondi?
who would have any type of jurisdiction? That's at least what the conversation was about. Was about whether or not Pam Bondi was going to increase access, because she claimed that they were on her desk, and then she claimed that they didn't exist. Then Trump came out and said that they were a hoax created by the Democrats, by the Biden administration, the Obama administration, and by the Clintons. And he said that anyone who
Mm,
wants them to be released, right, that they are, like, shouldn't ever support him, because it is the case that he doesn't want their support.
So Pam, you th- you're saying Pam Bondi is in charge of releasing them?
I'm saying that was the conversation, was about whether or not Pam Bondi was going to release it because she had it on her desk. That's what she claimed.
In the FBI director's hearing, Kash Patel, he said specifically, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that there was still 3 court orders on him that they were trying to get bypassed so that they could release them.
Okay, so if it were specifically court orders limiting them from releasing it, well then sure, um, if that is true. But I haven't seen that. If you'd like to provide a source for that, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, kind of look at it real quick.
Yeah. Like, was that for testimony or was that for the files? What was that
That
for?
that was in his hearing in front of the Senate and the House, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Sure. Alrighty.
Okay, yeah, it says that there are current orders related to the Epstein files. Recent court orders have blocked the FBI from releasing many documents connected to the case, particularly regarding grand jury materials. However, the FBI did state that it was released everything that has been lawfully permitted to be released regarding the Epstein case, including court documents and other materials. The House Oversight Committee has also released over 33,000 pages.
You know what's kind of weird to me? Why does Trump not have to follow the legal process for literally like immigration and deporting people, but apparently he has to follow the legal process to like literally release the Epstein files?
Well, because deporting people is getting rid of
We're doing
illegal
that because the
aliens.
court process will take too long. Isn't that kind of what's happening here?
Yes. You're saying the court process with the immigrants or the court process with the Epstein files takes too long?
The court process with the Epstein files takes too long. Therefore, wouldn't it justify, under his perspective, for them to not go through the legal process and instead try to go through an illegal process of releasing the files?
Well, I think that's two different scenarios because the Epstein files.
And also,
yes.
there's also another thing here. Why would he call them a hoax created by the Democrats if it was the case that he was trying his best to release them?
I don't know why he would call them that, but your point with saying the court takes too long, I think that's two different scenarios because the Epstein files, yes, it's illegal and it involves illegal information, but it's not an impending danger. Illegal immigrants can be an impending danger.
It is an impending danger because a lot of the people that specifically have committed these crimes, right, are out doing things in public. That's an impending danger. They're in positions of power. That's impending danger.
That's impending, but I wouldn't say that's immediate danger.
What? Come on. You're being ridiculous. Yes, it is. It is immediate danger for victims.
Okay, but is that letting, I don't know the exact number, but thousands of tons of illegal substances into the U.S. from
What?
being carried in by illegal.
You understand most illegal substances that come to the United States are brought here by U.S. citizens, right?
That's not true.
Like over 90%.
That's not true. That's not
I heard that.
Stat. Huh?
Anxiety pen?
A little bit. I don't believe that's true, that over 90%. I mean, do you know who that was released by? Like, did the FBI say that? Or?
Yeah, I got you. Smuggled for U.S. citizens by U.S. citizens, not asylum seekers. Smuggling is ultimately funded by U.S. consumers who pay for illicit, nearly 99% of which are U.S. citizens.
So they're paying for it, and they're the ones ordering them into the country.
U.S. citizens in 2021 were 86.3% of convicted traffickers, 10 times greater than convictions of undocumented immigrants for the same offense.
So that was 2021 when our borders were a lot weaker, though.
What? I'm sorry. Wouldn't that be like the time to look at it?
Yeah, I definitely just contradicted myself there. No,
Yeah.
You're right. I realized that as I said that. Yeah. So, but as of right now, they've seized over $509 million worth of illegal. So would you say that releasing the Epstein files is more
Point
important.
zero 0.02% of people arrested by Border Patrol for crossing illegally possessed any whatsoever.
I don't think it's the people currently crossing that are bringing in the drugs. I'm saying, I think it's the illegal immigrants that are in now that are using the connections that they've built while being in the United States that is bringing it in.
There's no evidence that undocumented immigrants are a part of this process. There's actually evidence to indicate there's less of an involvement.
That illegal immigrants have less of an involvement in illegal contraband in the U.S. right now.
Wait, say that one more time?
You're saying there's no evidence of illegal immigrants being involved in illegal contraband in the U.S. right now.
Of specifically a majority of that, yeah, like, or anything like that. They're significantly less likely to be involved in